Today, we are reviewing the very first movie of Phase 6 in the MCU, Fantastic Four First Steps. I'm your host, Matt Rimke, and I'm joined as always by my friend co-host, box office correspondent, senior editor at thedirect.com, boots on the ground in San Diego, California, David Thompson. David, how is Comic-Con?
It's been great so far. I did see a fantastic Silver Surfer cosplay yesterday. I wish I took a photo. It was not the Silver Surfer from this movie, but it was like an impeccable Silver Surfer. So that was probably the best cosplay I've seen so far. Fantastic Four wise. A lot of people rocking the Fantastic Four like garb though. I
Oh,
don't know how
sure.
everyone got those costumes, but they're really cool. I saw one guy give him a fist bump. He had like the Fantastic Four this version, but with a Spidey mask on that like
Oh,
fit
fun.
in like perfectly. That was pretty awesome. So yeah, man, it's been good so far, and people are all of a sudden buzzing about Fantastic Four, so that even adds more excitement.
Fours up. Absolutely. We are also joined today by our Canadian correspondent. We had to have him on in the month of comic book movies here in July. You know him, you love him. It's Klein of the Dino Klein Felt. Klein, how are you?
I'm doing well. I was here for one side of the comic book coin last week, and I'm back for the Marvel side. So
That's
it's
right.
the super fantastic is over. It has come and gone. We can now move on. We can look forward. Brand new day. Supergirl, Avengers Doomsday. Things are happening, guys. The ball's
Come and
rolling.
gone. You're making me so sad.
Red
So
pill, blue pill.
sad.
Well, I'll make you more sad.
Oh,
The gap right now between comic book movies from either Marvel or DC, Fantastic Four First Steps, all the way to June 26th for Supergirl next year. The third largest gap between comic book movie releases since 2002.
wow.
That's a long time. It is damn near a year. It's going to be
No
over a
animation
year.
either, right? Not even
No,
any animation.
well, I mean, there's going to be TV shows and
I know,
Marvel
but not
animation.
no,
No
yeah.
animated
No
movies.
movies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
nothing.
Yeah, and Marvel Studios is taking an over a year break. It will be over 12 calendar months until we get another MCU film. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy times, but we are in the end times here in the MCU. The multiverse saga today, we are talking about Fantastic Four First Steps. Gentlemen, are we ready?
Ready to rock.
Let's do
So
it.
ready.
Your starting lineup for Fantastic Four First Steps: Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Eben Moss Bachrach as Ben Grimm, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, Ralph Ineson as Galactus, Julia Garner as Shala Ball, aka the Silver Surfer, Natasha Lyonne as Rachel Rosman, looking fantastic, by the way, and PWH, the man, the homie, Paul Walter Hauser as Mole Man. Fantastic stuff. Directed by Matt Shackman, music by Michael Giacchino, written by Josh Friedman, who has an interesting credit list: Terminator, Dark Fate, and then David, one of our favorite movie titles of all time, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh.
Um, and then Eric Pearson, a Marvel vet, Thor Ragnarok, Black Widow, and Thunderbolts. We are here. It's time to review this thing. Overall thoughts here in the box score. Klein, I want to start with you as you are our esteemed guest. The box score for Fantastic Four First Steps as we sit here Friday, July 25th, 2025. 89% critics, 92% audience. A very rare upward trajectory from initial Rotten Tomatoes release, the comic
Hmm.
book movie genre. Klein, 89, 92. So basically right there in that 90 range. Do you fall over, below, or right at that take? What are your overall thoughts?
I think I'm going to be below that. It's surprising to me how positive the response to this film is. I'm not going to sit here and say that I hated the movie. I think that I had a lot of fun. I think it's good, but I love the world. I love the characters. It was so cool to see Galactus, but I left the movie, and the more I think about it, I left the movie thinking that everything felt like it could have gone a step further and been great. We got Galactus, but I never got I never got the Galactus I wanted to see on screen. Yes, he looked like the character, he sounded like the character. I never got that sense of scale that I wanted Galactus to be here. I wanted a celestial moment from the end of Eternals. I wanted him looking out at the horizon, changing size, doing the whole planet size thing. Same with the world itself. Loved the world. Thought it was this really cool. Production design was amazing, but I never felt like I got to spend enough time in it. And when I did, it was like the same three street corners over and over and over again. Characters, loved the interactions we had, but some of the moments I'm like, was Pedro Pascal the right person for this role? Was Joseph Quinn the right person to bring Johnny Storm to life? I'm excited for the future of these characters in the MCU, but I am sitting here feeling like this movie did a lot of cool stuff, but it did kind of feel like factory made almost. They're like just
Hmm.
no personality.
Interesting.
Interesting to say the very least. Thank you, Klein. David, you're up next. Box score 89-92. Where do you fall in relation to that score?
I think a touch lower.
Just a
Movies or
touch.
sports. I've been sitting on this now for several days, thinking about it. Really wanting to rewatch it. I think I'm gonna like this movie more on a rewatch. I know I will.
Yeah.
Um, Movies or sports. This movie to me is the 2024 Detroit Lions. It has one of the highest floors imaginable. Personally, the cast of characters, right? Great players, great talent, great coaching. I thought, Feige is the producer, Shackman directing. It looks awesome. Like the cinematography and like the CGI, VFX are great. Jasmine
It
looked
might
over to
be
me
the
one.
best looking MCU movie.
I think it might be. I think that space sequence, especially, and just in general, I like their costumes a lot as well. And another thing, not to make a joke, Jasmine looked over to me and goes, "Is he wearing a suit?" Talking about the thing, and I
Mm.
was like, "No, that's all CGI." Like, and she's like, "Are you sure?" Like, she's like having back and forth, and like, Jasmine, stop talking. We're in the movie. She's like, "Are you sure?" Like, there's some shots that look like it's a suit, and I'm like, "No, it's not." And that's a testament to it. So yeah, like for me, um, I thought like such a great collection of talent. Um, all those other little like integral parts to it where the floor was just so high for this movie for me. So it's like an 8 out of 10. It's a good movie. Like I have my qualms with it. Certainly. I do have some issues with the movie. Some of it I think is, and we'll dive into this way more like in a bit. Some of it is like the MCU like lizard brain of I was thinking too much during the movie. Like I will admit that 100%. I was
I
thinking.
think that might be my issue. Like I keep coming back to, and I had an editor a long time ago tell me you have to review the movie that was given to you, not the one you wanted. And like
Yeah.
that's the thing that I keep coming back to in my head is like, am I mad at this that this isn't what I thought it would be? Or am I mad that it didn't live up to like that it wasn't actually like it did what was it, I don't know.
Dude,
Like I'm really
I'm yeah.
like back and forth on that idea.
The
I'm right
WandaVision
there with you.
problem.
Yeah. Ironically enough, yeah, no, you're 100% correct, Matt, and I'm with you, Klein, and that's why I think the more I've thought about it, the more it has aged well in my
Mhm.
head, and also I think I will enjoy it more on second watch. Now, fully understanding what this movie is trying to be and going in with that mindset. Matt, excited to hear your thoughts. Where do you align with the Rotten Tomatoes scores?
I'm right there. 89-92. I'm right there. That's my sweet spot for this movie. I think the critics nailed it. I think the audience nailed it. The fact that the audience is just slightly higher makes all the sense in the world to me. I'm a simple man. You guys know that about me. I like watching sports. I love a good bit, and I love comic book movies. And these last 3 weeks between Superman and Fantastic Four First Steps has been one of my favorite comic book movie experiences ever. Like top five, at least, maybe top three. It has been such a fun ride. I feel like, and I tweeted this out yesterday, and funny enough, our friends at Friends from Work, the podcast, our buddy Robbie Earl had pretty much the exact same take as I have. I feel like accidentally what we got from James Gunn's Superman and Matt Shackman's Fantastic Four is kind of like either inventing or maybe like accidentally discovering a new era or a new wave or a new approach to comic book movies that we maybe haven't gotten before. We've had the era of the grounded, gritty comic book movie. We've had the era of the team up movie. We've even had the era of it's less of a comic book movie and more of a insert film genre here. thing. You know what I mean? Spy thriller, space opera, this, that, the other. Between Superman and Fantastic Four, what we've gotten, and I think what we may have established here, unapologetically comic book.
Yeah.
Like both of these movies are just balls to the wall, do the damn thing, and don't ask too many questions to get to where you want to go. They are unapologetic, I think is my favorite way to describe it. The worlds are lived in. The small things are not over explained because they don't need to be. And what I found really interesting in both those movies, Superman and Fantastic Four, some of the scenes or plot beats or things in the script that maybe in the overall scope are smaller, they went all out. You know what I mean? The kaiju fight in Superman, that's a relatively small scene in the scope of that movie, but man, it's a fucking kaiju fight, man. And Fantastic Four had a lot of different scenes like that as well, where the smaller scenes, they decided to just blow it up and go full comic book, full Jack Kirby. Right here behind me, this is what this movie felt like. And so at the end of the day, I loved this movie. I thought it was so unbelievably entertaining. I thought it was so satisfying at every single step of the way. I think what they did with the characters here, I appreciate and enjoyed every single decision. I think that what they did with the story was kind of inspired in the way that they kept it relatively small for being this big galactic universal thing.
Yeah.
And I think what it does for the MCU is, and David, this is where I feel like I maybe took a different approach. I think what it does for the MCU and the multiverse saga is actually better than what I think we anticipated it could be. And we'll talk about that later.
That might end up being true, you know?
Right. And I think that for me, end of the day, front to back, entertaining as hell. Not a perfect movie. By no means a perfect movie. I think there's a clunky ending to this, and we'll talk about that as well. But I was just so satisfied front to back with this entire movie, and let alone everything production that this movie brought. Like if you're like the film side of this as well, insane. All things that we'll get to. So those are overall thoughts. Those are the box score. Let's dive a little deeper. Let's get into the film room. I almost want to play like the NFL Films music. You know, the dun, 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 dun. It's good
In
stuff.
their own version. I love that.
Yeah, we got to call somebody because we're not using it. I'll tell you that for free. I'll tell you that right the hell now. We're not using any of it.
Amen to that, brother.
All right. Film
Thanks
room,
for being here, by the way, everyone listening. Thank you.
Yes, yeah, very excited. Direct podcast, direct.com, direct Patreon page, Discord, all that stuff.
Newsletter.
Newsletter, top
Read
5.
Klein.
Shout
I
out.
gotta do that today.
Isn't it coming out tomorrow, right, Klein?
Yeah, I gotta write that. Forgot about
Thankfully,
that.
it's a little easier today. I have to imagine what with the movie coming out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Make sure to check that out. All right, let's dive into the film room. David, I want to go to you first now. We start with Klein. Now we'll go to you first. When you look at the film, when you dive into this movie, what is the one thing that made the biggest impact on you, positively or negatively, watching Fantastic Four?
Yeah, so I've been waiting for you to ask me that question for the last like 4 days, Matt. And I've been trying to think, what am I going to answer? Because there is so much to talk about with this movie. I think there's like you can dissect every aspect of the film, the casting, the story, MCU-ness. What my answer is the story structure. I think the story structure has the biggest impact on this movie because for me personally, I liked the opening. I thought it did a very Superman-esque thing. It's actually, I mean, you mentioned the genre of just these being comic book movies, but there are also these comic book movies that are reboots, but not origins, which is also very specific. And they do like the same exact idea of quickly trying to catch you up.
For the first half hour, I thought they were going to be the same movie.
Yeah, right.
Oh, absolutely.
Literally. Like,
there's a moment that happens, and I was like, "Wait, what?" Like, there's no way that these two studios were doing the exact same story, like the exact same thing.
It can't be that fall into place, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, on that, like we get like the kind of like catch me up of it all, and we understand the establishment. They've literally been around for 4 years, right? It's 1 year off of how long Superman's been around. So all that was cool, and I liked seeing like those cutaway scenes. I know like they cut some stuff, but to me, keep it moving, man. Get to the movie. Like it's the same kind of idea. I didn't dislike that at all. And I think the middle of the film, the space sequence, I've been I've been tweeting about it's one of the best sequences in MCU history. Like I would just watch that over and over. I think when they go off to space, why Sue goes is in question.
It's
She
unreal.
she needed to
You
go,
know
I
you're gonna be the
guess.
first pregnant woman to go into orbit. She's like, yeah, it's all I've been thinking about.
Yeah.
So quick aside.
Also,
Unbelievable.
also, you get very early on, very unclear how much time has passed since the whole "Hey, I'm pregnant" thing, and
Sure.
then they go
Yeah.
into space. You're like, oh, like it's you're that
You see the
pregnant.
bump. Yeah.
It's
Oh,
insane.
it is in question how far along she is and what Galactus
Or was
exactly
there
does
time
to the
dilation? Who
baby.
knows? Who
Dude,
knows?
And
Or
time
magic
dilation.
baby.
when she did the thing to look into her own stomach, dude, that was fucking electric,
I like
man.
that.
That was so cool. That was so
I
unbelievably
loved
cool.
all the stuff. I loved all the stuff with like nervous dad energy Pedro
Oh,
Pascal. I thought
sure.
all that worked so well. And the
It's
like
perfect.
assured Sue Storm being this like boss ass bitch, which comes out at the very end of the movie. Anyway,
Yeah.
space sequence when they go off from when they shoot off into space, Excelsior, and until they are able to, what do you call that? Loop around
Oh,
Slingshot.
slingshot.
Thank
Around
you.
the moon.
Around
Apollo
around a
13.
black
Around a
hole.
black hole. Until they land, that stretch of the movie, I think it's just class. Like I think it's just like some of the best Marvel product we've gotten in recent memory, if not ever. It looks great. But then I do have issues. Like personally, I did not love the like the end of the movie. Like I wasn't like this. I
Really?
wasn't like a. I wasn't loving the end of it. Like I don't, and I've had a hard time even putting my finger on it exactly. Like I think personally, I didn't necessarily love the. I was thinking too much during the movie. I mentioned this earlier. When they were thinking of an idea of how to save themselves, right? Like I thought something crazier was going to happen. It felt to me, and this is like the number one, like, man, it's just the MCU like brain or like nerd and trying to make things bigger than they really were trying to do. I was thinking they were going to like take some crazy leap, and it felt like it happened like almost a couple times, and they just kind of didn't. It felt like they almost like played it safe a little bit. Even going down to Sue dying, and I mean, massive spoiler. I know we're in this section, but like, Sue like dying and then Franklin saving her. It all at the end of the day felt like a tad safe. And even like when
Really?
we get the little car seat bit at the end, and then it just the credits roll. I was
Yeah.
like, "There's no more
Hated
movie."
it.
I was like, "There's no more movie." I literally, I mean, I knew the runtime going in, of course, but I was the first thing I said. I like looked over. I'm like, whoa, whoa, like, I'm like a guy literally shouted out in my theater, like, "That's it." Not in that kind of tone, but I was like, whoa, like, we wanted to see more. So I
He
don't
was
know.
Kevin Feige setting up, going, "That's it. It's done."
Yeah.
He pops out, and it's like this like muted crowd. Get ready for this next scene.
That
So
was
yes,
fun.
I think story structure is definitely the thing that had the most impact for me positively and negatively, because I loved how much time they took on, like I said, that whole space sequence. It's long and it's great.
Awesome.
And I love seeing their interactions with that are awesome. It's giving some Star Wars in there when Johnny's in the like doing the shooting. It's like a little Force Awakens moment.
Dude, the
Um,
cameras mounted onto the side of the rocket ship
So cool.
is so interstellar. Like just showing the little jets as they're like
so
leveling out and
good.
stuff. It's
So cool.
it's so cool.
It looked it Marvel space has never looked like that, which I thought was
No,
pretty interesting. I feel like its color palette, or maybe you guys have a better like way of saying this, like the way spaces was designed looked different somehow,
The
and I don't know
visual
how they did
language.
that. Yeah, visual language. There you go.
it felt very in the same way that like you pointed to the comic books behind you earlier, Matt. Like this is a movie in those scenes in the height of heights in this film. It is a Jack Kirby comic book. Like
Hmm.
it looks, it feels, it just like moves so differently than anything we've kind of ever seen before in this franchise. And I don't know if that's an alternate universe thing. I don't like
Hmm.
I honestly think it's all of these filmmakers taking all of the influences that they have and just like putting their own stamp on it.
Yeah, I think I have so many thoughts on everything David just said.
I agree
I
with you, David, though. Like I do want to say that third act. The thing I think that I keep thinking about with it is I never got this movie, and I'm this new movie never like roused me. Like I never had goosebumps. I never like it never pulled me to that next level of being like, oh my God. And the third act specifically, I kept kind of waiting for that moment, and it just felt so it felt manufactured. Like it felt like, oh, this is the Marvel Studios third act, and this like it just felt so predictable. I would have almost preferred that they did the like their initial plan to move the Earth. When they said that, I
Yeah.
was like, this is such a cool
I
idea.
was so
This
excited
is
for that.
so cool. And then they just start blowing up, and I'm like, come on, like there I think there could have and should have been something, even if they moved it and all of a sudden Galactus shows up again. Like I would have preferred that than having to like, okay, we're gonna push him through the hole, and then
I thought
Silver
it was
Surfer's gonna come
yeah.
out of nowhere. And
I thought it was gonna be like I'm sitting there like, oh, incursions, like we're going multiverse, like
yeah, I was like, this
like
is what they're gonna do. They're going to create whatever battle world is like right here. They're gonna go boom. They're gonna move to another solar system. But guess what? It's not another solar system. It's actually ours, and they've collided with our Earth or something like that.
this movie is completely contained. Marvel Studios took the
100%.
property of Fantastic Four and made another separate universe iteration, like two from start to bottom, or from from top to bottom, which I wasn't expecting.
You can
The
watch this
one
movie with no, like with nothing.
I think that's helping the reviews, Klein. I think that's actually a huge part of those Rotten Tomatoes reviews is that like people critics walked into this movie and left that aren't like huge fans and were like, wow, that was refreshingly its own thing, you know? And I was just surprised how contained it was ultimately. But like once again, maybe it's for better, maybe it's for worse. The one other thing, last thing, and I want to hear more of your guys like individual thoughts just on that third act. I wanted to make sure I got this out. The only other thing that I like wish this movie had more of was each character using their abilities together more.
Sure.
Yeah. I needed
I
a
felt
circle
like
up.
Sure.
yeah. I felt like we didn't like we get really good I think we get it verbally a lot in the spaceship when Sue is giving birth. I think there's a that feels like
Awesome.
it feels like family. It genuinely feels like family. Like with Ben at the cockpit and like everything happening and it's like it's a really cool. I'm getting like chills thinking about it. It's a really cool moment. I thought freaking black hole in the backdrop.
Dude, having to make the cloak the ship while giving birth, that
Yeah.
was insane. That
After this next contraction, you're gonna
yeah.
have to make the ship invisible for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, you motherfucker.
Talk about badass, man.
You need
Dude.
Sue
gravity to
Storm in this
push.
movie.
And Reed really just played both hands here. Like I think he did a good job, being the husband in that moment. But
Yeah.
every chance he could, he was like, okay, do this. Okay, guys, we got to do this.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really well done.
Yeah.
I have thoughts on everything we just discussed.
Yes.
The thing you guys mentioned, and Klein and we all mentioned, the Jack Kirby-ness of it all visually, right? I think that is a standout for the movie. It's its own separate thing. But the third act, the
828,
idea,
baby.
the idea that we're gonna take Bikini Bottom and push it somewhere else. It's there's never been a more apt meme in the history of time. But the idea that doesn't work, and Reed has to use his superpower of figuring out the next idea. The idea of pushing Galactus into a teleporter and sending him across the universe, and the idea of like, oh, he doesn't have a ship. How's he gonna get back? Like that's very Jack Kirby as well. Not it's more Stan Lee, I guess, but like that's very 60s comic. That's very like, I think a very inventive, unique way to handle the problem. It's very Dormammu, I've come to bargain. It's not punching harder. It's not and I know, there's not really a way for this team to punch harder against Galactus, but
It
I
kind of
thought
becomes that though, right? With Sue. Sue overtakes Galactus at the end, pretty much, right?
Right,
And
Yeah,
then
because
but
his
Silver Surfer
his
comes
plan
in.
fails too, right? Like his
Sure.
idea,
Yeah.
like they push him through the hole, and who comes climbing back out of the hole? Galactus does.
So
And then Johnny, who's done this, whatever, translating Duolingo, which I guess from
I like
one
the
sentence,
expert, Johnny Storm.
yeah, you can decipher an
Johnny's
entire
movie, though.
language. And he's the one who really like sends him on his way, because if he doesn't do that, Silver Surfer doesn't show up and realize, oh, like I'm a mom too, and push him back through the hole.
I think the comeback once he gets through and then comes back, that's a whole separate conversation, I think. But
Right.
the idea that Sue pushes, like, yes, Reed's plan doesn't work, until the rest of the team gets in and helps them make it work. And yes, the punch harder of Sue Storm literally just pushing harder on Galactus. I think it adds
Making all sorts of faces.
sure.
Just
Oh
Vanessa
yeah,
Kirby, MVP of faces.
unbelievable. But
Yeah.
I think what makes that more than just punch harder is the mother's love of it all. Like the idea that a mother can lift a car if her child's underneath it, kind of thing. That resonated
That's
with
it.
me here. I think that played. I think it worked for me anyway.
It's the heart of the movie. It's totally the heart of the movie.
1,000%. I mean, hell, it's the plot of the movie.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think that especially because we all went into this movie expecting one thing. We expected Galactus is going to eat this Earth, and that's why the Fantastic Four show up on our Earth. Like, I feel like that was kind of the consensus prediction for this movie. Couldn't have been less true. And it was never even on the board. You know what I mean? Like we were going to move our Earth, and then we were going to move Galactus. And the idea that Galactus was going to be stranded without his resources, I'm guess I'm just on the opposite side. I loved that third act, and I loved the cleverness of it. And it kept me on my toes the entire time. Now that ending with Silver Surfer Sacrifice, a completely separate conversation, I think. But for me, the story building I thought was really cool because the first half was very Hickman Fantastic Four, and the second half was very 60s Stan Lee Fantastic Four, and it melded well for me. But hey, I'm just one guy. Klein, you hop into the film room as we have 10 minutes left on this recording, and then we'll have to switch over. What is your biggest takeaway? What is the thing or things that impacted this movie the most for you?
My number one is the heart of the movie for me, and it's Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm. I think that this casting saga. Remember, not a year ago, I guess 2 years ago now. This time, San Diego Comic-Con, people thought, "Oh, we're gonna get Fantastic Four casting," and that was when Penn Badgley was involved. And is Margot Robbie gonna be Sue Storm? Is Mila Kunis gonna play the Thing? And I think they settled and found somebody. When I first heard Vanessa Kirby open her mouth in the trailer, I was like, "Oh," because she is British, and I know her as British. And the second the movie started, it very quickly, like once we get that "Honey, I'm Pregnant" kind of scene, I was bought in. I think she's the highlight of the four for me. I think it's her and the Thing are like the two standouts, but she specifically,
That's so funny.
she's the main character of this movie. And I think that she does it super well. There are moments I'm not going to blame her on I think the death and coming back, it felt meh. Like it didn't feel good to me. That's not on her though. Like I think
really
she delivered an incredible performance, and she had all my favorite moments. I think my highlight of the movie is that spaceship scene when they're leaving Galactus's kind of hideout. Like all that space stuff's amazing. But when she's giving birth, and she is the MCU rests upon Sue Storm's shoulders right now, which is kind of wild, and will for quite a long time. Whereas I think heading into this movie, a lot of people thought, "Oh, Pedro Pascal's going to be the next Robert Downey Jr. of the MCU." No, I think it's Vanessa Kirby, at least for right now. We don't know.
Hey man, she was chair number 2.
Yeah.
It was Chris Hemsworth, then it was Vanessa Kirby.
And maybe Vanessa Kirby's the new Captain America or Steve Rogers of the MCU. You know what I mean? The heart. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, and you look at this team within this universe that they have, right? Like, who is the one starting the Future Foundation and like getting out there? Like, Reed is the one who's on camera doing like he does the terrible press conference, by the way, when they land.
Lie. Hey, just fucking lie, dude.
You don't need to tell them.
No PR training.
Remind you of anything
save
here,
you
David?
a lot of time and energy. But
that was such
she's
bullshit.
The one who's like she's doing the interviews and getting out and talking to people. So Vanessa Kirby for me, shout out. Didn't know you had it in you, and I'm so excited to see more of her as this kind of like the anchor of this Fantastic Four. And
when we rewatched Fantastic Four 2005, and again, we're not going to blame Jessica Alba, right? But there was a lot of like, ooh, what's an excuse to get Jessica Alba without her clothes on? And you know what? 2005 is more of a fun movie anyway. She's incredibly attractive. I get the bit. They did it one too many times, maybe, but like I do get the bit. But Sue Storm was never the leader of this team in any of the iterations we've ever gotten. To the point where they make an effort to say in the 2005 one, the reason she's Invisible Girl is because she's always invisible. She's never, at the forefront. Couldn't be more opposite here for Sue Storm. She is the face of the world, it seems like. You know what I mean? She's on Time Magazine.
Yeah.
She's starting the Future Foundation. And it makes that moment when she walks out with Franklin to give the speech, the Loki speech, or I guess, Cap in Germany, whatever it is. It makes sense that people listen.
Yes.
It makes sense because you look, the mole man of it all, the different Future Foundation things. People trust Sue Storm. So when she talks, people will listen. And that makes sense. It's not just angry mob for the sake of angry mob. And what an amazing line by her. I'm not going to sacrifice my child for this world, but I'm also not going to sacrifice the world for my child. So what she ended up doing, sacrificing herself. It played so well for me as far as buildup, but also just what a badass character they made with Sue Storm. And that's more than anything what I wanted the most out of this movie was Sue Storm to be that dude in the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, they set her up to be such a leader going forward. It's funny that Matt Shackman was saying it was people took it out of context of the question he was answering. We're talking about how like Pedro Pascal's being set up to be like, Reed has this evolution of character to then be set up to be a leader of the Avengers by the end of it. And you see that in this movie because it's like, we know he's such a nerdy, nervous guy. Then he has to be a dad and care about his son. And then he's going to have to eventually, obviously, we know, lead into the Avengers. But what's funny about that is I think kind of the point Checkman was making, and it wasn't in that quote, but I think he would agree to this. This Reed Richards would need that kind of evolution and be forced into a leadership role where Sue is just a natural leader, and I think that's going to play so well when they connect with other people and other teams. And yeah, I really liked her. I did really love how Klein said like of the four, he would pick like the Thing and Sue. Because even though like I really love Sue, I also personally, I really love Johnny. I thought he was great. I think he had a lot to do, which was surprising to me. Obviously, we talked about the whole like linguistics thing of it all or whatever, but he really had a lot to do. I thought he was great. I loved how he had a crush on Silver Surfer. And I also just want to talk about Pedro for a second because I'm seeing people say he was miscast, and I really don't agree. I thought he was well cast, and I thought that he's not supposed to be. We mentioned the whole leader thing, but he's not supposed to be confident, which I think Pedro plays really well. Where he like I feel when there's that scene where he like is explaining how he has to think through all the terrible possibilities so they don't happen. And like we got earlier in the movie when he's trying to childproof all of New York, which I just loved. Like this is so cool. I thought that was like so cool. That whole scene's great too, with Herbie going around childproofing everything. Good
So
comedy. But I really bought Pedro as kind of this like kind of haunted figure in a way. Like it's that whole idea of like Tony Stark a little bit, where he's like all that intellect is like a curse. It's a blessing and a curse, but it's that curse that's kind of like weighing him down, but can make him a better hero at the end of the day. Like you were saying, Matt, like being able to adjust and make like that because of that intellect, because of that superpower, he's able to figure things out. Like that initial plan was brilliant, like even like we get into the nitty gritty of like global turning off the power and stuff. I thought that was great. I did kind of want to see what would happen, but yeah, it's not what the story was telling us. But I don't know. I just really like Pedro, and I thought he did a really good job, and I liked this version of Reed that it's complementary with Sue. That to me is what really stood out in this movie as being so different from those original films talked about, Matt. So distinct, I think, going forward.
Absolutely. I really don't need to give my biggest takeaway because we kind of just did it. For me, it was the characters. And, that's my favorite part of movies. It's my favorite part of comic book movies specifically is when the characters get right. With Reed specifically, I agree, Klein. Sue's my MVP of this movie. I think it's hard to say anybody else because she just has so many great moments. And everybody has such great character moment after character moment after character moment throughout this movie. It's most of the movie. But Reed's line where he's like, I don't dream, I don't hope. I constantly think about the worst possible scenarios so I know how to overcome it when it happens. Like that is such a perfect take on Reed Richards, where that's why his mind is elsewhere. And it also plays so well into the plot of the movie because Reed Richards, if you look at it outside in, he's just exploration. At the beginning of every plot point of this movie, Reed is there to explain what's going on, why it's a problem, and how we can beat it. But and that would be like, bleh characters so often, but there's a purpose to it because that's how his brain is wired. And everything everybody else, we've said about all the other characters. That's my biggest takeaway, and that's my favorite thing about this movie is just the decisions they made with all the different characters. All right, before we move into the top plays, there are a couple more things I think we need to cover, just because there's a lot in this movie, and I think it being such a contained movie allows for there's so many new things to talk about, right? Because there's not any assumed thoughts on any of the connectivity or whatever it might be. The first thing is that ending, and I know I've been kind of putting off talking about it. The ending with the Silver Surfer. It's definitely my least favorite part of the movie, is that she makes the sacrifice to do the final punch for Galactus, and basically win the day. Very Arya Stark, very Aquafina and Shang-Chi, right?
Yeah. That's funny.
And I think it's not that I don't think that is earned, because they do have that Johnny Silver Surfer plot beat throughout the movie. Really the only B plot in the movie is those two. And if when that happens, you can look back oh yeah, she was kind of on the fence, and Johnny did, show her the other side of all of this. So it does make sense. I just don't think it's not the most engaging way to. It just kind of comes out of nowhere, right?
That's what I was gonna say. It comes out of nowhere.
She's
what was she
gone
doing
for so
the last
long.
hour?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that of the options, I think that kind of sucks. Had Johnny done the sacrifice, I would have appreciated it because it's very comic accurate and it sets up a great Johnny Storm story moving forward that I think I would have been really awesome. But I also think that would have come out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like the Johnny sacrifice thing, I don't think was really built up the way Tony in Avengers 2012 was. That's the sacrifice play, and that was built up throughout the entire movie. The reason this doesn't bother me too much is because if you take any sacrifice play out of this movie, I think it would have been a better ending. Sue already beat him. I don't think he needed to come back and then get pushed back in. That 45 seconds, I think, could have been cut from the movie.
Even Sue's sacrifice, Matt, I think the big issue here is that just don't have only spent at this point an hour and 50 minutes with these this version of these characters. So if one were to die, if the sacrifice were to happen, it can only be so impactful, especially in a universe that we're so accustomed to staying with these characters for so long in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and seeing their continuity built up. So had Sue Storm just died in that moment, it's sad, but it's not going to have the impact that it could have in 5 movies from now, in 10 movies from now.
Right.
And I think that was the biggest, them doing any sort of sacrifice at the end. I was kind of well, this doesn't necessarily feel 100% earned quite yet, because I know what this franchise can give me.
Well, what does give them an out? I agree with everything you just said, but what gives them an out is when Silver Surfer sacrifices herself. She's not dead. You know what I mean? They're showing up at the other end of that portal. Dude, words are going to be had.
I've seen some people speculating online. Secret Wars, I have a feeling that Galactus is going to be very key in however we end up
they kept
stopping
him alive.
Dr. Doom.
That was my first thought. I'm he's coming back. He's got to come back next movie or Secret Wars.
He's not coming back. We're going to him. Right. Wherever he went is where we're going, I think.
Yeah, I think it'll be Loki and Franklin.
Yes.
Somehow, some way.
So we got to talk about Franklin. We have not talked about Franklin this entire movie.
The plot of the movie.
The Magic Baby. So you mentioned the Sue Storm sacrifice. I know we had 2 Iron Man movies before Avengers, but when that was happening, I was like, oh my God, they're doing the Iron Man thing. from Avengers, because when he crashes down, he's dead.
Yeah.
Hulk brings him back. It's funnier in that
This
moment.
was like she's dead.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
She was dead.
What a great and Pedro Pascal. You didn't like
Seen
him?
him,
what I was gonna
seen
say.
him pull that card a few different times, and it
Yeah.
works every single time.
I mean, it's a fastball and it works. Dude.
Yeah.
Just keep doing it.
It was so
the
different. It was so-
pounding,
Yes.
the
Dude,
screaming.
I was literally like, I was not emotionally resonant. Like I agree with Klein. Like I didn't necessarily love the direction that Sue's dying in this movie specifically, but
I wanted to cry and I didn't, and that's
Pedro's
I cried.
performance brought me in. That was the thing that brought me in. That's why I keep going back to the performances in this movie. I think maybe like my biggest highlight. Yeah.
I cried 3 different times in this movie, and that was one of them for sure. Now, what that does, yes, I understand not loving the execution of Sue's dying. It does do the Thanos Hulk thing, where why does Thanos beat the hell out of Hulk at the beginning of Infinity War? We need to know how big of a deal Thanos is.
Right.
Why did Sue die at the end of this movie?
so we can see God Baby.
Magic baby, right? They said a phrase in this that made Franklin Richards, I think, have that level that I was hoping he would have from reading the comics. And this is classic Matt Rimke stuff. I've read the comics over the last 2-3 months. I'm now obsessed. You know what I mean? Like I'm new to the game, but I'm in the game. Power cosmic. Galactic says that this baby has power cosmic, and Reed writes it on the board. Power cosmic. What is that? Why is that? Why is that such a big deal? And that's what Franklin Richards is on the board. He is him. He is God Baby, like Klein said. And what makes him a really awesome character in the comics is he's 5. And, like we know he ends up being that, but right now he's 5. And now the Fantastic Four had to figure out how to navigate this. It's Anakin. It's absolutely Anakin.
He doesn't know the power he has, but everyone else does.
Yeah.
Exactly. And God Baby here, when he brings her back to life, I think just sets him up as the MacGuffin of this movie and also future movies. We'll get to the post-credit scene. But Franklin, spoilers for people who want to read John Hickman's Fantastic Four, can literally create universes.
Mm-hmm.
Like Wanda can create realities. Franklin can create actual universes that can then spurn into life. There's a lot of multiversal bad guys who would love to get their hands on that power. Galactus being one of them.
Yep.
Well, Galactus just wanted someone to take over his snacking. In this movie,
For sure.
eaten too much, and he's like, I'm done. I've done this for 900 years.
Planetary munchies.
Yeah.
By the way, I have a question for you guys. I haven't seen this properly answered unless this is just the read on the movie. So Silver Surfer is the one that tells, she's like the scout that tells Galactus which planets to eat, the Herald. But then, so was it ever about Franklin? And then they just show up and Galactus is like, oh, cool, this baby. Is that what it is? Like, I was confused by that, walking out.
That was the turning point in the movie, was they showed up to parlay with Galactus, and Galactus sees Franklin and is like, oh shit, this is fuck Earth. This is the move. Yeah. Oh, dude, the eyes. Unreal.
Yeah. Dope.
top plays are about to be fun.
Yeah. A lot of top plays.
But that's the turning point in the movie, is they go to negotiate for Earth, and Galactus in that moment is like, oh, you shouldn't have come here because now I know. Like this is and that's why the escape was such a frantic thing. Because when they were going in, I was like, how the hell are they gonna get back?
Right.
And why
they
are
have
they
a tractor beam?
Yeah, but and why are they gonna get back? You know what I mean? How do they walk away from this?
What's gonna stop Galactus from flicking all 4 of them, breaking every bone in their body?
Exactly. That was my first thought. I was like, this is. But then when I did not expect for a second for Galactus to see Franklin. And it was such a cool moment for me. And now that's comic book shit. I know who Franklin is. Can I spoil something in the John Hickman Fantastic Four for you guys? Do you guys care?
No, yeah, that's fine.
And spoilers for anybody listening, there's a moment in the build up to Secret Wars, much like this movie is, where
The 1980 Secret Wars?
no. This is
No?
the
Okay.
2015.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do love 85 Secret Wars though. Black Suit Spider-Man, shout out. I have it behind me somewhere.
Shout out.
There's a moment where the end is near, all is lost, they're about to lose, right? And who comes from the future to save the day? Franklin and his sister. That's a totally different thing. But and we're like, okay, here's Franklin. How are we gonna know how big of a deal this guy is? Like, how do we represent Franklin's powers? And Galactus is dead on the ground. And Franklin says, much like Charles Xavier always says, to me, my Galactus. Because in the future, Galactus is Franklin's herald. That's Franklin's
Wow.
Silver Surfer, and it's a fucking moment, dude. It's electric. So, God Baby bringing Sue back to life. I think that's our mini version of that. And we as an audience now know, we weren't just told, we now know Franklin's that dude. Now, the CGI. Woof.
Yeah.
Fucking
There were some
woof.
moments. Anytime the Thing had to interact with this baby,
Awful.
rough.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Because it was all one composition. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
because he's holding, but it's very clearly two different models, and he's like
Yes.
holding it, and it's like this
Bad.
isn't quite lining up right. Like there's something scale wise, shadow wise, something going on here.
For a movie with potentially the best visuals in all of the MCU, that one thing really bad.
I do think they were really smart in when this baby was first born. They do not show its face.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
is like a cardinal sin of movie babies is like newborns never look like that. They never have their eyes open. They're never like they look like little aliens. Like they're not. I think back like the Twilight Saga and like that baby looked like a
Yeah.
full-grown woman with its face on this like newborn baby. So they were
Horrific.
very smart in places, but then yeah, anytime the Thing was holding him, but then Eben Moss-Bachrach starts talking and I'm
He's
like,
great.
I'm into this.
I'm very aware that I'm ranting. I'm very sorry, but I have one more thing on what Klein just said. My little sister gave birth to a child during this movie. So as soon as this movie ended, I ran to the hospital to go meet my new baby niece. And let me tell you something. Me and my stepdad said the exact same thing. She does not look anything like a newborn baby. She looked like a developed ass baby.
So maybe it happens.
And Klein, as soon as you said that, I was like, I cannot believe you just said that right now. Because we had this exact same conversation yesterday.
Also, Matt, can we confirm or deny that this is God Baby? Like you may be related
my
to
niece,
the key, to the key to the multiverse.
Right.
my sister accidentally named this kid Harper Lee,
Accidentally?
not knowing that was the author of To Kill a Mockingbird.
That's
Sick.
really funny.
Fantastic.
Who broke the news?
Fantastic. oh, it was so immediate because everybody's like, "Oh, it's such a cute name. You a big reader?" She's like, "No." He's like, "No, why? What do you mean?" Very funny.
That's really funny.
Shout out Sammy. Shout out Harper.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you. It's very exciting stuff. So Franklin, what were you guys' take on it? I don't know how much you guys know about Franklin Richards, but like that was a like if you know you know thing, but also
Yeah.
like here's your new chess piece.
I wasn't huge on it, honestly. Like I wasn't huge with the revival at the end, personally. I was kind of, or just like we just talked about. I just already expressed my feelings on that.
I think they
Just-
could have kept that information hidden, and it would have been even more exciting. Like when we get into these next movies, and it's like, why is this kid still the MacGuffin? Like, what is so important?
right.
Do you guys
I
not
mean,
feel like we still have a why there though? Like we know
Oh,
he
yeah.
is, but why?
Yeah,
yeah. I don't know. I'm not like jumping up and down for. It's funny because it's like now we have this like 4-year-old kid and this new character. I'm just and like
Walker
the
Scoble.
post-credit scene. I'm just like, okay, you know, it. So Doomsday's the same movie, or you know, like, or it's like we're still
Because
we're
that's
still
the
going
thing,
after
like,
the baby, like, and we're still going to
we-
defend the baby, and it's just going to be the baby.
we living in the world that we live in, like in our MCU sphere, and I think it's like, I guess heavy as the head or whatever. Like literally 8 or 9 months ago, someone on Reddit posted this movie in full, like plot beat wise, and it was right. And so I had seen it, and it was every single scene, just like boom, boom, boom. Here's what happens. And so no, I knew that, and then I obviously have heard of Franklin and read about Franklin, that sort of thing. And then now all the like everything is saying he is like he is the Infinity Gauntlet, for lack of a better term, for this next two
That's
Avengers
interesting.
movies.
Yeah.
And so I think that's neat. I think that's cool. I think that's how you bring the Fantastic Four in, but it is I don't know if I need a 7-year-old at the end of this being the thing that like saves the multiverse.
One thing for me is I kind of do wish, and this is just it's not that we are introducing Franklin Richards to the MCU. This is a massive deal. Like and it's going to it has all these, grand
He is
effects.
like arguably the most powerful character in Marvel Comics.
Literally.
Almost inarguably.
So with that being said, I do kind of wish, for lack of a better term, the baby was kind of put to bed at the end of this movie. Like I kind of wish it was like, I don't know, we could
They
get
gave him up.
beyond.
They
Just beyond,
gave him to
just or
Galactus.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't really want the next movie to be about the baby too.
I
Because this one's so about like literally like just quick anecdotally, like Jasmine walked out of the movie and we got in the car and she's like, that movie should have been called The Baby, and I'm like, that's really funny. And then I drove home. But like,
What's the first thing we see? Like it's with like it's
it is the movie, and the post credit tease, which you haven't talked about yet, teases that's what's happening. Like that is the Fantastic Four in this universe. They're only what they do for us so far, and seemingly in the future, is protect this baby and not give it up and defend it, and like that's fine. And I
it is
think
almost like Franklin Richards is in the MCU, whereas we didn't even get to a moment to go, oh my gosh, like the Fantastic Four are in the MCU now. I think it could have almost been better had Sue Storm, maybe not, like maybe we get pregnancy reveal at the end and is pregnant, and they're getting chased in Doomsday, and like you introduce it there and you let the
it's a
Fantastic
lot going
Four
on then though.
be
But
the
yeah,
Fantastic Four.
I don't know.
I
It's
think
it's hard because I love the opening scene too. By the way, guys,
I know
I
it's
love how
it's
the
really
movie
good.
opens.
great. It's great. Hit
I
me
don't
in a
know.
very real place. But I
Mhm.
think that I disagree in that we didn't get the Fantastic Four are here, because we now have Reed, who we know is the figure everything out guy. He's going to be proactive. I think the Thunderbolts post credit scene is, and my guess, it's Reed being proactive and getting ahead of whatever the hell is about to happen, incursions, Battle World, Doctor Doom, whatever, and either hiding Franklin or warning our team about what's about to go down. And also just in the whole idea of like this team's purpose is to protect Franklin, the TVA's purpose is to protect the sacred timeline, the Avengers' purpose is to protect Earth, and the X-Men's purpose is
Well,
we
yeah,
don't
they're
know.
superheroes. That's what they do. They protect.
Right, but I like the idea of Secret Wars being battle world, where all these teams are coming together, protecting very distinct, different, important things. That I think it's a big puzzle piece. Don't get me wrong, but it's another puzzle piece into the multiverse saga, because then, like, yeah, we got Franklin Richards, but also there's Loki, and also there's Kang, and also there's Doom, and how is all of that navigated? I love this as a chess piece to be put on the board for the multiverse saga, especially with the idea that Doom is going to use this as a way to get what he wants, whatever that is.
Yeah, I think the thing that I hope they don't really do is just do the whole put the baby in the fight again. That's all. And
Sure.
we have to talk about, you mentioned it, the post credit scene for Thunderbolts. I was stunned walking out of that theater that this movie did not connect to that post credit scene. I'm like, I mean, just purely as a fan, I'm like, we don't get to see that scene until Doomsday, which honestly, it does kind of make sense. It's like that we get two Doomsday scenes in these movies. We get the one in Thunderbolts and we get the one in Fantastic Four, and then we're gonna see those scenes probably again in Doomsday and how they connect. But
Do we
I
know
mean,
that, or do we just know that they have been filmed on Doomsday production by the Russos?
That
well, no, they, oh
I
yeah,
don't know if they're active scenes in the film.
oh,
they don't
from
I
have to
think
a
they they
in
may
terms
just
of,
be
oh yeah,
codas that they filmed on Doomsday production.
oh, of course. The facts that we know is just that the Russos directed those scenes. We don't know what they're going to be. I'm just saying we don't we have to get those scenes. I imagine. Like we're not gonna get that scene of Doom, getting
Talking
like
to
I guess,
Sue.
yeah, or like
Is it even Doom?
maybe just follow up, and then also we have to also, I mean, we have to see when the Fantastic Four jump to Earth
Meets. Yeah.
because we'll see the other.
Was that the Fantastic Four?
Or was that
Klein,
Doom?
what is going on?
Or was that Doom?
That's what I'm saying.
What?
Could that be Doom in the rocket ship
That would be
with the baby?
crazy. See, here's the thing that was also surprising about this movie is Reed doesn't know about the multiverse based on what we know in this film, which I
He says
thought,
something about multiple
Yeah.
realities, though.
He knows
has
it
like a
exists. He
math
hasn't
equation.
explored it yet. But it's been 4
Right.
years. What do you think the fuck he's been doing?
That's a good point. It has been 4 years.
He's been on
Yeah.
it.
It's been 4 years, super baby testing.
Yeah.
I mean, it does. It's kind of giving Jack a little bit, which
Well,
I think it's
That
pretty fun.
was more prevalent than it ever has been in this film. It's like, like The Incredibles is the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
People
It's funny
hate
'cause
those
it's like
movies.
the Incredibles like stole from Fantastic Four, and now Fantastic Four is like stealing from the Incredibles, which I think overall works out well.
Kind
We
of
need to talk
poetry.
we need to actually just have a conversation really quick about the post credit scene.
Okay.
Just on its own. I think are we there, Matt? Do you want to do top plays
Let's
first?
do it.
Sorry.
Let's do
I
it.
think
No,
we're
let's
talking
jump
about
into
it right now.
We'll get top plays after.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
It's going to be a lengthy one.
That's fine. I mean, if you guys aren't busy, I'll just keep going myself, but it's gonna skew it one way.
No. On this scene, I thought it was my personal take. I thought it was the bare minimum for what they could have done. The absolute, and it might work out fine, but Matt, we have talked about this for a year now. It is just the MCU diehard fan in me where I'm like, yeah, Fantastic Four, I wanted them to introduce Marvel's first family. I want to love the new team. And I think they check those boxes. I'm excited to see this team come back in Doomsday. We have, and Matt, you're going to disagree with me so much on this. We have no setup to Avengers Doomsday. Zero, zilch, nada. When it comes to Victor Von Doom, we do not know this character at all going into that movie, which I find shocking. I genuinely do. I thought we were going to get something. Like I mean, and I know, and maybe I will end up being wrong, and I'll be the first one to admit in 18 months when I walk out of Doomsday, I'm like, this was great. I'm glad we waited and we just got Von Doom's introduction in this movie. This is not an introduction. This is the. I mean, it's a tease. Which is fine.
But David, they showed the Latveria seat empty. There's no one there.
I like that. I like that a lot.
They
That was
do it
cool.
twice.
I did do it twice. The second time I did it, like.
And do we think so? This does, and it's so confined because if you don't know a thing about Marvel and you watch this movie, you just think that is setting up a Fantastic Four 2 with Victor Von Doom. Yeah,
do you even know it's Victor Von Doom? Like I was sitting there next to Gabby last night and didn't see the mask.
If you're a comic fan,
but if the way they did it is my issue. It's not. I think that's a cool idea. I think that okay, you're setting up Doomsday by showing him this kid. I would have almost had preferred Vanessa Kirby, Sue Storm talking to the kid, gets up, camera pans, keeps panning, comes back around, and you hear her conversation over there, and then you see him like coming out of frame. You see the face, maybe the mask. You see take off the mask, pick up the kid, and walk out, and then she walks in, and it's gone. And like the kid's gone because the way that it just shows it is it's like, oh, like who is that? Is Sue gonna talk to him? Is there going to be some sort of negotiation? Rumor is that this wasn't originally Doom and it may or may not have been Nomad, which would have been insane.
Would have been sick. So many thoughts. One, on what you just said, Klein. Yeah, I think Sue's going to talk to him. Are you guys assuming that Victor and Sue don't know each other?
I think
they
that
definitely know each other.
Not David, Matt. So that means that the Victor Von Doom that we can expect to see in Doomsday is the Doom from their universe.
I think so. And
that's the question.
I think that plays. They just introduced
multiple though, right? Like we're getting all multiversal. So I don't know.
Do
I'm
you
gonna
like
back-
that? Because
I'm gonna-
I would prefer it be a Doom from somewhere else, discovering there's this being in this other universe. I need to figure out how to get there, and then I can conquer the multiverse.
It does seem very disconnected right now.
I like the idea of Doom discovering the multiverse through Franklin. You know what I mean? Because you said it earlier, Klein.
Has he done that before he comes to get Franklin?
I don't know. We don't know yet.
So he's gonna discover the multiverse in Doomsday. Like that's like I just think that's a lot of stuff to do in a movie.
So here's I think my prediction that I think is gonna, if it goes the way I'm thinking, it's gonna shift everything you guys are saying. I hate doing it. I'm gonna do it. The concept art thing from a few months ago.
Yeah.
There was all this alternate reality Marvel stuff.
Yes.
What if that's Doomsday? What if Doomsday is not connected with anything we've seen, and it's really just a Victor Von Doom movie with the Avengers there playing these alternate roles, and that's how we learn who Doom is, what he's doing, and what the purpose of Secret Wars is going to be, and then we get into Secret Wars where it's all fleshed out.
So you're saying that movie opens with its own like Earth distinction, and these are all like the everyone's variants.
I think for a portion of it at least, yeah. I think that could be a really interesting way, because you said, David, this is the bare minimum. This is a tease of a tease. One, they could have not shown Doom, and with the way Marvel Studios has been doing post-credit scenes lately, it's not impossible that they
Following
didn't show
Thunderbolts
Doom.
though, like
Sure. But here's the thing: is it any difference than Thanos smiling at the end of Avengers?
yeah, but the next movie
But
wasn't
that-
Infinity War.
Yeah,
Sure, I get
that was like
I get that.
7 years before we got that movie.
I get that. But if Doomsday is more of a Doom movie, I think
It has to be.
I
How
think
can
it
not be?
will be. And I think it will be, because when we get this, because
And I'm
here's
in
the
on that.
thing. Here's the thing. Secret Wars is the end game. It's not Doomsday. Doomsday is not the final thing.
But are you not
Secret-
seeing these two things as part like yeah, but Infinity War and Endgame were that's one movie.
I think it's going to be less that than maybe we're predicting. That's my guess. I think it's going to be less part 1, part 2 than maybe we think, because Secret
Then
Wars
don't
is
release them in subsequent years. Don't you were originally going to release them in the same year.
That's true. That was different movies though, right? That was Kang and Secret
Yeah,
Wars.
But now it's 26, 27.
for now. But
I mean,
yeah,
I mean,
it's
we'll
gonna be
see.
similar
This
cast,
isn't Age
same
of
directors.
Ultron and the first Avengers. Like I don't agree
I
with you at
do
all,
think
Matt.
I know I actually I am maybe in the middle. I do think it'll be less part 1, part 2. I think there is going to be a maybe more clear distinction in cast of characters too.
Like there's one movie
We're getting
between
so
them.
many characters, and they're talking about Secret Wars being this like new beginning. What does that mean? Like, how is this going to actually play with this massive cast? They brought out freaking 30 plus chairs. There's more characters in it than that. There's X-Men coming back. There has to be. I guess I wonder what is the spark of the conflict in Doomsday, and we have no. The issue I have now is that we have no movies from now until then, no projects really at all to learn that. And that could be okay. I think, I mean, in the positive leaning side of this is that maybe Doomsday will be able to stand on its own more than maybe any Avengers movie before it, because of what Matt just said, where it's just the multiverse saga has trained us to understand variants and understand the multiverse, and that's just the movie. We get like 17 Earth 828, Earth 616, or you know what I mean? And we're just like we're bouncing around. But the issue I have is why that would be happening in this point in time, because in this movie, and we can wrap this up. In this movie, it's not connected to it's not connected to the main Earth at all. We have no idea, like we still have no idea why. Like there in the Thunderbolts post-credit scene, it's like, oh, there's some stuff up in space. What? And then like here comes Fantastic Four, it's like an interdimensional portal opens up, something like that.
Multi-dimensional.
They call the ship something, and that's how you know it's from another dimension. It's like a multi-dimensional craft
Anomaly?
or something.
Oh,
I kind of hope it's Doom now, by the way.
Maybe.
Like
I think
I
it very
can't
well
even
could
lie.
be. I think everything that we've talked about here, I guess I'm looking so much more to Secret Wars than I am Doomsday. Because Doomsday is exactly that. A bunch of unconnected Now, the original Secret Wars isn't, but I assume they're extrapolating. I haven't read 2015 yet. I'm working toward it very rapidly. Secret Wars is just that, all these unconnected universes coming together to fight a conflict or fight each other or whatever it might be.
Right.
So
Battle World.
Yeah, Battle World. I think more than anything, this movie puts another universe on the table, and wow, did it do a lot of work in one movie. Like, how much do we all love Earth
828, right?
828.
828.
Yeah, 'cause-
828. What a banger. You know what I mean? What a great debut for this Earth.
And it
One
stays
Earth
alive.
off of the Multiverse of Madness Illuminati Earth, which was
No shit.
838, right?
7 or
Really?
Was it
I-
That's
838?
cool.
I'm trying to remember. But I know I've seen it going around that it's one Earth off.
Yeah,
Michael Waldron.
838.
Michael Waldron
Correct.
do the damn thing.
Oh, wait, no. The one that we just watched. Oh, no. Yes. 828 is Fantastic Four. 838 is Multiverse of Madness, which is really cool.
I think that's cool too. I think I think we have enough pieces on the board now for Secret Wars to be a tangible thing of, okay, this universe and these teams and that teams. Now we just need the doomsday of it all to create what the conflict's going to be in Secret Wars.
Do you guys think right now we get it's so complicated, but do we get one Victor Von Doom? Like the one that we saw, maybe not the one that we saw at the end of the post credit, but is it Downey is playing one character and or do we get several? Are they kanging it?
I have no idea.
Are they kegging it? I want that to be a verb. It could mean so many things.
Like Bernie Mac, kang it!
I don't know. And the Loki's in this movie, and like, I don't know.
Aren't we kind of excited that we don't know though? Isn't that kind of
I
exciting?
wish I knew a touch more. I mean, okay.
Matt, I see what you're saying.
The marketing will do a lot. Like
Yeah.
we'll learn a ton.
Shout out to the marketing of this movie doing a lot for this movie, by the way.
Yeah.
I think Vanessa Kirby and Pedro Pascal are doing a lot for this movie as well.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Let's use this. We will have a Fantastic Four overtime episode where we flesh this out even further. Klein,
Matt,
we'd love to have you
forget
back.
that. Yeah, Klein, please. We have 18 months to discuss this. Like it's crazy.
Sounds like a rewatch.
Oh, it's gonna be a blast. But like it's crazy to me. I guess the one thing this movie does great is I'm dying more than ever for doomsday marketing. I'm like, please give it to me because I need to like see what's happening. Because
Do we get something before we get something from Spider-Man 4? That's what I'm wondering.
That's interesting.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if in December
for Avatar
we get something. Not even if it's a trailer. I'm talking like a photo, like an official photo from the set, or like
totally. They have
Superman
way more of
putting
that
on
movie.
his boots.
Yeah.
Superman putting on his boots. Super
I'm down.
Bowl, right? It's got to be Super Bowl we're looking at.
Super Bowl for sure, I'd say.
Because
Actually, maybe not.
if Spider-Man was a sole Marvel Studios thing, I would say no. But because it isn't,
right?
I think we might even see footage from Doomsday before we see anything from Brand New Day.
Spider-Man's really ruining all of this.
yeah, because that's the thing. I don't expect Spider-Man to do any heavy lifting with any of this stuff. Like, which is great.
Except another player on the board. Which
totally.
I know he's already on the board, but you know what I mean.
And maybe they will do a post-credit scene there. And maybe I'm kind of overlooking that. But I think that's, trying to be its own thing and not really connect. Like this movie inherently does.
I think we have a lot more to cover on like speculation, predictions, all that different stuff. I love that this is where we're at. If you remember correctly, we all thought we knew what Endgame was going to be. Couldn't be more wrong. Like first 20 minutes, completely different movie. And that's the kind of thing I'm excited about.
That's a good point.
So we will cover more of this on next week's Fantastic Four overtime episode where we have more reactions. The box office, David. Brother in Christ.
Ranking, maybe?
Do you think we can do top plays in 6 minutes? Thoughts?
Oh, absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay, who wants to start?
I'd love to start. I really liked the egg bit.
The egg bit was funny.
I think they played that I think they set it up really nicely, and I thought it was really cool. And I also really like when Johnny lights up and he can just do like his hand.
So amazing.
It looks really cool.
Really
I love
great.
Johnny Storm in this movie. He's
Same.
not Chris Evans, but I actually really like this version.
He's a romantic. He's not a womanizer. He's romantic.
Yeah, he's great. And he's a hero. He's got that hero archetype type. He's like trying to sacrifice himself and stuff like that.
We got to fix the hair. I will say that.
Yeah.
He's a little product.
Quinn's gotta just grow out. He's always got a buzz cut. He's always got to get a wig on. Like, dude, grow out your hair, man. Help us.
He'll
out.
have longer hair after he plays a beetle. So
yeah,
he'll be good.
there's that too.
Busy guy.
Klein, top play.
Top play is when he entered the wormhole for the first time. Are you
I
kidding
mean,
me?
it's electric, dude. Like
When
every
it happened,
moment, every moment.
that's one of the, I would say probably 2 times the movie that I got goosebumps. I was just like, oh, it's one of those movies. Okay, here we go.
And it did
Never
a
hit
Star
those heights again, but it
Sure.
was so awesome.
It did a Star
Yeah.
Wars thing too. Of it just kept getting cooler. It just kept getting
Yeah.
cooler and
Oh,
cooler.
yeah, and then they
the
go back
beams
into
are
it.
fucking twisting. And
When he
oh,
shoots
So
Silver
cool.
Surfer, when he finally gets her and it like curves all the way
It's
around.
amazing.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's
it's
so
a jank.
satisfying.
It's a jank Nintendo controller that you finally get the
Yeah.
edge on.
Silver Surfer surfing, dude. Like when she
Oh,
Not part of
surfs
her
on,
body.
like
not part of her body.
a part of her body.
Electric, dude. It was amazing. See this in IMAX.
What did you say to me?
Yeah, I love that. He made her a mixtape, guys. What a romantic.
Yeah.
He literally made her a mixtape. Now
I kind
it
of
was-
love them.
It was death cries, but still.
Yeah.
I have a top play. I've been talking about the marketing of this movie for years now and how much I love it. I had such an immersive moment in this movie where we get the cold open with the pregnancy thing, which was first time I cried.
Shout
And
out the
then-
Marvel Studios logo too.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Did you guys see it in IMAX?
Yep.
The
Yeah.
Fantastic
The
Four
countdown.
IMAX roll, never bad. Saw it a year ago, loved
So
it,
cool.
loved every second of it. So we get the cold open, and then we're in the news thing. Your Fantastic Four, and it's the
The
highlights,
Ted Gilbert show.
and it's the Ted Gilbert, and all that different stuff, and all the things we've seen in the marketing. And then the first scene out of that is the kitchen scene where Ben's making spaghetti. The very first scene we see in the teaser, that dong, 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 dong moment. And it wasn't until that scene kept going that I realized I was watching this movie. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Everything we got was so embedded into what we've seen for the marketing so far. And then that scene kept going. I'm like, oh my God, we're here. This isn't just another trailer. Like we're in this.
It's kind of like Superman too.
Matt fucking Shackman, dude, just got me in. Very cool. Another top play, the Mole Man idea. That's the comic bookie of it all. How did we get people out of New York? We put them underground.
Poor John Malkovich though. We were robbed.
What happened to John Malkovich, man?
We saw his apes.
They kicked this monkey. Yeah.
We did see the apes. That was cool. That monkey went flying. And I hate orangutan. So
By the way, I have one not top play real quick. I just thought of his stretchy
I got
powers.
plenty
When
of not top
When
plays.
Galactus pulls him apart, I wanted to close my eyes. I was squirming
Oh yeah.
so much.
And then his body when he lands on the ground, it doesn't immediately shrivel back. It
Like,
takes a
ugh.
second.
it was
I
crazy.
hated that.
Another bit I hated, car seat bit. Get the fuck out of here with that. I did not like that.
The three
at all
dudes
to
bumbling
end
with the car
movie.
seat.
And the movie
It's
ends.
very
Every
real.
It made no sense. Why wouldn't Reed know how to figure that shit out? He made it. He made it.
Yeah, it's all proprietary.
Yeah, that bummed me out in a really big way.
My hands are too big to get in there. You
Yeah,
weave
yeah.
it through.
It was good. Any other top plays? I mean, there's so many. Herbie's cassette change from Earth
Oh,
to
love
space.
that.
So cool.
Yeah, I like
Shout out the score. We heard it so many times, but all the
Oh.
different versions of it every single time.
Oh,
It's
so
insane.
good. That's the other thing that we're just a high floor movie. Back to the beginning of the review, like just a high floor because the music is just excellent. And when it pops up and it's intermixed with the Avengers in the
Mhm.
next movie,
gonna
that's
be
gonna
insane.
go
Yep.
crazy.
and then the X-Men theme, and then the Loki theme, and then the
Spider-Man.
Oh, the Loki theme.
Yeah, fucking amazing. Name a production element, and this is a top 12 MCU version of that. Like
Yeah.
any production element, it falls in the top 12 of the MCU. Set design, costume design, visual effects, CGI, score, fucking cinematography, the look up at Galactus that first time. Like all of those different things. Just really great. High floor, like you said. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Fantastic Four First Steps review. Next week, we will have our overtime episode where we're going to figure this doomsday thing out, right?
Yeah, we're gonna figure it out right now.
It's going to be us. It just takes us three, right? Thank you guys so much for listening. Klein, thank you so much for joining. Please make sure to subscribe to the direct.com MCU newsletter to get your top 5 stories from the Marvel Cinematic Universe every week. Also, make sure to follow David Thompson on Twitter at DAAVID Thompson for all of your San Diego Comic-Con coverage. The guy is boots on the ground. Very exciting stuff. We'll be back next Monday with a news episode. For David and Klein, I'm Matt. Until then, we'll see you next time.